Hello Cancer, my name is Keith Haswell. I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business, over 30,000 clients worldwide, and I've got 3,300 subscribers to my videos. I started doing videos about 12 months ago and they've been a big success, and now there's been 250,000 viewings of my videos. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to this particular video on your cycles, Cancer, for September and October 2014. Now what I'm going to do for you, Cancer, is first of all tell you a few things about yourself. That's always quite a bit of fun. And tell you what type of conditions and circumstances that you experience in life, and what qualities, principles and values that you're developing within yourself and so forth, what tests that you're facing in life. And then I'm going to look at the cycles of the faster moving bodies, the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Mars, over this 2-month period through the houses of your horoscope. And that will tell you a few things about the type of events and conditions that you'll experience from that. And I'm going to put it on a timeline. So I'll start from the 1st of September. I'll tell you where those 4 bodies are. And then any changes to the house that they are sitting in, I will tell you on that timeline. And that will change the way that that planet works in your horoscope for the balance of that period, and so forth with the other planets, so that you'll get some variety there. And then I'm going to look at the slower moving bodies, Jupiter and Saturn, and tell you the impact that they're going to have in your life during September and October 2014 as well. So you just enjoy the journey here with me, Cancer. Let's have some fun together, eh? Now you are to be congratulated, Cancer, not for being a Cancer, but you are to be congratulated for having an interest in astrology. That puts you at the forefront of evolution in the human consciousness, because astrology, meditation and reincarnation are the new dispensation that's coming down into the mind of man, because they represent truth. And they represent a truthful presentation of the nature of reality and our place in that reality. And the fact that you're interested in astrology puts you right on the crest of the wave of evolution, so congratulations for that. Now, you're a very home-loving person, Cancer, very family-oriented. You've got a very vivid imagination, a very retentive memory, a tendency to dwell in the past at times perhaps. You're strongly attracted towards the water, not necessarily swimming all the time, but attracted to be near the water, and you love the water. You probably have a fish tank in the home, and you enjoy walking around near the water or driving around near the water. You don't like the rain, I suppose, the same as most of us. Now, as far as money is concerned, you're very self-conscious about your financial circumstances in life. You've asked yourself many times, why am I so awake, aware and alive as to what's going on in terms of my security, when everybody else seems to just breeze through? So you're very much aware of every single cent that you spend, and every bit of your security that's there, or every attack upon your security or slip in your sense of security, that has a very big impact upon your consciousness. Now, you're very observant and very analytical, down to earth, and you probably drive a motor vehicle and keep it nice and clean. You're very fastidious and particular about the cleanliness of your motor vehicle, whether it be a motorbike or whether it be a car. You probably like a car. Now, you could have a job in the sales field at some time in your life, and you seem to work perhaps in the health related field at some time in your life as well. Now, as far as the home and the family is concerned, you really love to have harmony around the home. You can't stand arguments and conflicts in the home, so you'll bend over backwards even stuffing things inside of yourself so that you don't create a disturbance and create an imbalance in the home environment. You just love the home to be a peaceful place where you can come home from work and put your feet up and relax and enjoy harmony in the home. So that's important to you. And you love artistic things around the place, Cancer. You love nice plants and shrubs, and you like nice pictures and artworks and so forth, and statuettes and knickknacks around the home. Love works of art around the home, and you love listening to music in the home as well. You like entertaining in the home. Now there's some intrigue in your life with your children, any children in your life. There's some intrigue there as far as your children are concerned. Could be something to do with what happened early in their life or something like that. There's something there that is a few secrets there to do with your children perhaps, and also to do with your romantic life. So you may have got yourself embroiled in a secret relationship at some time in your life, and that becomes part of your secrets and perhaps part of your shame as well, so that you might have had a deception involved in a relationship. You might have got involved in a relationship that was not right ethically and morally and so forth, didn't live up to your principles and values. So there's something there to do with your sexual nature, and also to do with the romantic and social side of your life that you're not proud of, and that is part of the secrets and part of the shame of your being. Now, you love going out to beaches and places like that recreationally. So you like going and having a picnic at the side of the water or the side of the river or something like that. That's important to you. Now, you work with a number of people who are born overseas, and you could work with you could work in the travel industry. You could perhaps work in the sales related field. You could work in some company that's dealing with importing or exporting. And there's possibilities of also working in the teaching profession at some time in your life. Now, you could travel connected with the job at some time in your life, and if you own a domestic pet, you probably own a domestic pet which is a breed that comes from overseas. And what else do we got? In terms of marriage, Cancer, you did have delays with regard to your plans for marriage. They were obstructed or put off. You marry someone who is older than yourself, quite feasibly, and that person is very possessive and jealous in their nature at times, and so you've had your fair share of difficulties in marriage and relationships, and quite feasibly more than one relationship. You just felt as if you were stifled in that relationship, and the relationship had too much sadness involved in it, and so the relationship broke up. So there's more than one relationship in your life perhaps. So that's just a few things about yourself anyway, Cancer, just on a lifetime basis there, some of the experiences that you have in life. You've probably got a scar on the knee from a cut, burn or a scald, and one of your parents could perhaps wear a uniform in the job at some time in their life. And there might have been the early death of a parent, or an accident involving a parent, or an illness involving a parent somewhere along the line as well, a bad illness from an accident or something like that. You could in fact yourself even have a uniform in the job at some time in your life, or work with dust coat or overalls or something like that. Now, I'm going to look at the movements of these planets now through the houses of your horoscope for you, Cancer. And on the 1st of September, the Sun and Mercury are both in the 3rd house of your horoscope to start the month off with. Now, when the Sun and Mercury are in the 3rd house of your horoscope, there's a lot more social involvements with relatives and neighbours. There's a lot more communication with relatives and neighbours, and perhaps a lot more communication tied in with motor vehicles as well, with Mercury there in the 3rd house. So you're very communicative at this particular time. And Venus starts off the month in the second house of your horoscope, Cancer. When Venus is in the second house of your horoscope, it's a good time financially for you. So there's pretty good stars financially starting off the month, and you'll probably have a hankering to get out there and buy some major thing. Some new set of clothes, or a new outfit, or you'll buy something that is been on your list for a while, perhaps sometime in the early part of the month of September. But there's also a love of luxuries, and there's also a love of rich food when Venus is in the second house of your horoscope. So watch out that you don't put on the pounds. Now Mars is in the fifth house of your horoscope to start the month off with. And when Mars is in the fifth house of your horoscope, there's an increase in your sex drive, a lot of an increase too in your social activities, a lot more involvement with social activities, particularly robust social activities involving the children, if there's any children in your life. There is potential though for jumping into a hasty relationship if you're in the market for a relationship that has a degree of tension surrounding it. And it's not a good time for you for speculation and gambling when Mars is in the fifth house of your horoscope, Cancer. Now the first change that we see comes up on the 3rd of September with Mercury moving into the fourth house of your horoscope. Now with Mercury in the fourth house of your horoscope, Cancer, there's a lot more communication with family, and a lot more communication on real estate matters and property matters and things like that, and domestic matters. A lot more communication with the family side of things, with parents and so forth as well, with Mercury in the fourth house. On the 6th of September, Cancer, Venus moves into the third house of your horoscope, and that begins a period which is very, very favourable for buying and selling things, entering into contracts or agreements, but there'll be a pronounced increase in social activities with relatives and neighbours with Venus in the third house of your horoscope. You'll also have a pronounced interest in more music in your life with Venus in the third house. Now on the 14th of September, Cancer, Mars moves into the sixth house of your horoscope. Now that brings a period of tension connected with people that you work with, conflicts with people that you work with. It's not a good time for job interviews. It's an unfavourable time to do with domestic pets, potential for accidents involving a domestic pet or an injury to a domestic pet. And arguments and conflicts with people that you work with would be endemic with that. So don't pick a fight with anybody at work. Try and keep things harmonious in the job with Mars in the sixth house of your horoscope. And be careful of accidents on the job yourself. It's also a stressful time connected with health matters if they're uppermost in your mind at that time as well. Now on the 24th of September, Cancer, the Sun moves into the fourth house of your horoscope and begins 30 days of focus upon the home, the family, and the domestic side of life from a personality point of view. So there's a lot more social activities around the home, a lot more involvements and communications and contact with parents, and social involvements with parents. And on the 28th of September, Cancer, Mercury moves into the fifth house of your horoscope. When Mercury is in the fifth house of your horoscope, it brings a lot more communication with children, a lot more social activities with relatives and neighbours, a lot more social activities with people that you work with, and there's a lot more communications about sporting matters and recreational matters generally. Now on the 30th of September, Cancer, Venus moves into the fourth house of your horoscope. Now when Venus is in the fourth house of your horoscope, there's a great deal of love for parents. If they're still alive, you'll have social involvements with them for sure, and there's a lot of social involvements with family. You'll enjoy entertaining around the home more so than going out to restaurants and places of amusement and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of entertainment around the home, and you'll just love to have music around the home with Venus in the fourth house as well. Now on the 5th of October, Cancer, Mercury turns retrograde. Now that means that the planet is in apparent backward motion. Now, what that means is the planets don't actually go in a backward motion, but they go in a backward motion in relationship to the Earth. So it means that the Earth is moving around the Sun at a faster pace at that time than what Mercury is. So it makes Mercury appear to be going backwards according to the background space there, which is the zodiac. And so when Mercury is retrograde, and it remains retrograde only for a short period of time from the 5th of October to the 26th of October, but it does impact Cancer upon 2 other houses of your horoscope and brings insecurities and secret worries. Now, number one thing that it does when Mercury is retrograde is it makes you dwell in the past. So all things to do with the past come up, especially secrets that you're not discussing with other people. They come up into your mind. So things that you're not happy with about yourself, aspects of yourself that you're trying to get rid of and clear out, those addictive patterns of behaviour that all of us become enamoured with, and matters relating to relatives also seem to cause concern for you. So there'll be problems in communication with relatives, difficulties and problems with regard to motor vehicles and means of transportation. It's not a good time for entering contracts or agreements when Mercury is retrograde. Now, on the 24th of October, Cancer, the Sun moves into the 5th house of your horoscope and begins a period of focus upon children, should they play a prominent part in your life. And there's a focus upon the social side of life. Romance comes to the fore if you're in the market for a romance. And there's a lot of desire to go out to restaurants and places of amusement and things like that, with the Sun in the 5th house of your horoscope. Now, Venus is also in the 5th house of your horoscope on the 24th of October, and that exacerbates that sort of a trend towards restaurants, places of amusement, getting out and about and circulating on the social side of life, getting involved in new relationships and expressing your love to your children in big ways in terms of their social life and things like that. Now, on the 27th of October, we have the final one for the month, which is Mars, which moves into the 7th house of your horoscope. Now, when Mars is in the 7th house of your horoscope, Cancer, it means that your partner will be rather dominant and assertive in their nature, aggressive, argumentative, so it's not a good time to sort of pick a fight with your partner or spouse, and it's not a good time for you to do with legal matters. It can see stresses and tensions and accidents whilst out mixing with the general public, and could be back and kidney trouble or bladder trouble for you at that time in your life as well, with Mars in the 7th house of your horoscope. Your partner can fall ill or have an accident in some way. Now I'm going to look at the slower moving bodies. First of all, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter takes 12 months, Cancer, to transit through a particular house of our horoscope. And so with Jupiter in the current house that it's sitting in, which is the 2nd house of your horoscope, it's a very good time for you financially. The 2nd house is your house of finances and security, so it's a time to expect that money is going to go well for you, and matters relating to your sense of security are going to be bolstered and improved in this 2-month period. And it's a good time for buying things and selling things. And when Jupiter is in the 2nd house of your horoscope, good fortune abounds in terms of money matters. So therefore it's a good time for gambling and things like that too. Now, the thing that I want to share with you now, though, is something that's very, very important and very powerful and impactful, and that is that in this 2-month period, Cancer, Jupiter moves 10 degrees in the zodiac. So it moves 10 degrees through the 2nd house of your horoscope. Now, if you have any planets in those 10 degrees, it means that Jupiter forms a conjunction with those planets in that 2-month period. And that is what you want to learn about and know about, because that means that there's terrific benefits in life for you with that conjunction happening from those particular movements of Jupiter and the conjunction that's formed there for other areas of your horoscope. Now, what I'm going to do for you is when you submit your birth details through the Your Horoscope page of my website, www.mysteryofsirius.com, when you submit your birth details, I'm going to send you your horoscope chart free of charge, and we'll even tell you if you've got any planets in that particular area, so that you know that there's going to be a conjunction with Jupiter, forming a conjunction with those planets in that 2-month period. And the areas of life that you've got to watch out for then is also able to be learned. So that's very, very important to you as far as the movements of Jupiter is concerned. Now we're going to look at Saturn. Now Saturn, wherever it sits, brings problems for you, Cancer. And Saturn in this period of the 2-month period is in the 5th house of your horoscope, and it's been there for the last 12 months. So you've already felt this influence in the last 12 months, and there's been an unhappy time through children. There's been sickness of a child perhaps sometime in this period. There's also been unhappiness to do with romance, love, and the social side of your life. If you're in the market for a romance, you've had a breakup in a relationship in the last 12 months quite feasibly, or unhappiness with that person being very possessive in their nature perhaps. Now, with Saturn being in the 5th house of your horoscope during this 2-month period, it's not a good time for you socially. It's going to bring frustrations and obstructions and delays with plans for social activities and functions. Same thing to do with the children. And there's also movement of Saturn in this 2-month period of 5 degrees, Cancer. And if you've got any planets in that 5-degree section of your horoscope, then it's going to impact upon them. It's going to form a conjunction with those planets. And those degrees of Jupiter, by the way, I'll go back to Jupiter, is between 10 degrees and 20 degrees Leo. That's where Jupiter goes in this 2-month period. Saturn goes between 18 degrees Scorpio and 23 degrees Scorpio. So if you've got any planets in those 5 degrees in your horoscope, then it means that you are going to have a conjunction with Saturn and those planets in this 2-month period. And you need to know about that, because that can bring problems for you, frustrations, difficulties and crises into your life. And by being forewarned about it, you can be forearmed and you can avert a crisis. And this is what the idea of astrology is, to give you a roadmap in your life so that you can plan ahead there and avert a crisis in your life. So that'll do, Cancer, as far as a rundown on the type of events and conditions that you'll experience in the months of September and October 2014. Now, where do you go from here? Well, look, I'm happy to help you to develop spiritual perception. What does spiritual perception mean? Spiritual perception means to perceive life from a spiritual point of view. Now, I postulate the idea that it's impossible to perceive life from any other perspective than a spiritual point of view, because the whole world, Cancer, is a giant spiritual classroom. Science says that the planets are just blobs of matter in space and can have no impact whatsoever upon events and conditions in your life or upon your personality. Now, if you find any degree of accuracy whatsoever in the things that I've just told you about yourself and about the conditions and circumstances in your life, then it's incumbent upon you to delve into things on a deeper level, because that proves science to be wrong. Science says that everything that's happened in the world has happened through some fortuitous set of circumstances via a process of evolution as a result of some sort of explosion in the heavens that brought about all these planets into this right location in distance from the sun and so forth. And through this evolutionary process, you've evolved from an amoeba in the ocean to a fully fledged human being with free will. And did I mention a high level of intelligence and a great deal of love? But they say that all of this happened as a result of an explosion in the heavens and some fortuitous set of circumstances through the process of evolution, and that there's no purpose behind the whole scheme of things. Well, that's the same as saying, Cancer, that a Boeing 747 fell into place and became a Boeing 747 as a result of an explosion in an engineering factory. That all of the electronics and all of the things that are there in that Boeing 747 all just fell into place after an explosion in an engineering factory. Now that's a hard call. And I'd like to ask you this question too, Cancer. If we've just evolved and we're all just a process of evolution, the result of a process of evolution, what's the evolutionary purpose of our fingerprints all being individual and different? What's the evolutionary purpose of your iris, which is different from anyone else's iris, being different? What's the evolutionary purpose of that? Now, I posit to you, Cancer, that there is intelligence behind the whole scheme of things. And in fact, you are the result of hundreds of lifetimes that you have lived. You didn't just pop in as a leader on the crest of the wave of evolution with all of your beautiful high intelligence and highly developed love nature. You didn't just pop in. You've evolved through hundreds and lifetimes over the last 90,000 years to get where you are today. Now, what I'm prepared to do for you is to tell you in a particular horoscope that I do called Horoscope number 2, I'm prepared to tell you all about yourself on a much deeper level, because you are more than just your sun sign and your rising sign. You are made up of the moon also, which rules your emotions, Mercury, which rules your mind, Venus, which rules your love nature, Mars, which rules your energy levels and your sex drive, Jupiter, which rules your higher mind, Saturn, your practicality and organisational ability, Uranus, your intuition, Neptune, your spirituality, and Pluto, your capacity to transform yourself. So all of these planets are in various locations in the zodiac, and they form relationships with each other called aspects. And it depends on those aspects between those planets, and there won't be another person with the same aspects as what you've got, Cancer, for another 25,000 years. So you are quite a unique individual. And what I do for you for only $10 is I send you a 20-page analysis of all of the planets in your various houses of your horoscope and what that means, and the aspects that they form with each other, and therefore what qualities, principles and values that you've developed within yourself in past lifetimes, and what qualities, principles and values that you're in the process of developing, Cancer, in this particular lifetime. Don't you want to know that? Don't you want to know where you are on the process of evolution? Don't you want to know where you are and where you stand and what qualities, principles and values that you're out to develop in this particular lifetime? That's what's important to you in this particular lifetime. That's why you've brought yourself to my website, because you're on the crest of the wave of evolution. So I'm happy to do that for you for only $10 and send that to you by email. And it's a beautiful 20-page printout that you will treasure for the rest of your life and will help you to understand how to reach your full potential in life. So subscribe to my videos, because they're coming out all the time. I've got videos on all aspects of personal growth and spiritual growth. And I've done over 125, 130 videos now on all aspects of personal growth and spiritual growth to help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. And I'm happy to send you the link to all of those 125 videos when you put your application in for your horoscope number 1, free of charge. And you get 12 CDs out of my first book, What Really Matters, on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And that, Cancer, is 12 CDs out of that book with my voice, beautiful soft backing music. I take you in and out of meditation time and time again, so that the information can go in on a deep level and help you to understand more about yourself and more about the nature of reality and your place in that reality, and to understand more about God, Goddess, all that is, who loves you and knows your name and wants you to become all that you can be and more. And God, Goddess, all that is, have put a piece of themselves inside of you, Cancer, which gives you all of the properties, all of the qualities, and all of the powers of God and Goddess inside of yourself now. Your task, Cancer, is to recognize that fact and unfold those powers. And that, my friend, takes eternity. We never ever get home, we're always coming home, which is the name of my second book on deeper aspects of your spiritual growth, called Coming Home, An Eternal Journey. And in that I cover quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and deeper aspects of your spiritual growth and development. Don't you want to grow spiritually and hasten your evolution so that you can go on into higher dimensions of consciousness beyond the human level altogether, Cancer? That's why we're all here. We're all here because we're the laggards, we're the slowpokes, we're the ones who are naughty, and we won't let go of our negativities and our addictive patterns of behaviour. That's why we're all here in this particular location and this particular dimension, Cancer. So we can evolve beyond the human level altogether and become more of the giant that we truly are. So I thank you for your attentiveness and look forward to working further with you should you decide to have your horoscope done by me. Thank you.